and he's screaming at the studio door.
Oh, okay. All right, go do that. All right, see you
Uh,
guys next time, man.
all right, thanks.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, in your health news, your eyes. You only have two of them, so you need to take care of them. In today's Health Minute, Mary Maloney has tips on maintaining good eye health.
Your eyes are an important part of your health, and maintaining them is something that should be done on a regular basis. Maintaining good vision starts with a balanced diet. Nutrients found in certain foods like salmon, tuna, dark leafy greens, beans, and nuts can help prevent common vision problems such as cataracts. If you smoke, quit. In addition to heart disease and lung cancer, smoking can also lead to vision loss. Studies show smokers are more likely to get optic nerve damage, cataracts, or macular degeneration than non-smokers. Wear sunglasses. You want a pair of sunglasses that can provide high UV protection. Research shows UV radiation can cause damage to different parts of the eye, including the cornea. Digital eye strain. Try using an anti-glare screen on your computer or even adjusting your monitor to eye level. Taking a few minutes to step away from the computer every couple of hours may also help. And visit your doctor. Getting regular eye exams can help spot and treat diseases early on. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
Meanwhile, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration will require new warning labels for opioid prescription medications, warning consumers about the serious risks of misuse, abuse, addiction, overdose, and even death. The FDA made the announcement on Tuesday. A black boxed warning, the severe warning, the most severe label warning that there is, will be required on immediate release formulations. Now, additional safety labeling changes will also be required. According to the CDC, more than 40 Americans die each day, I should say, from prescription opioid overdoses. 40, not 40 million. All right. Well, many Apple customers wanted bigger screens on their phones in years past. Why the company is now introducing smaller ones, still to come in our consumer segment.
We all felt kind of relieved, and we didn't think that another attack was possible, but then this happened, so I didn't see this coming. No.
Witnesses from yesterday's deadly terror attacks in Brussels are describing this scene as a war zone. We have more reaction from them coming up.
With a heightened police presence at the Reno Tahoe Airport also comes the presence of explosive detecting dogs. Coming up, Terry Hendry is going to take a closer look at what these dogs do to keep us safe.
And primaries in several western states taking place on Tuesday, how the front-running candidates in both the Democratic and Republican sides fared, and a new development we're learning today about a former presidential candidate.
You're watching Mornings on Fox 11, connecting Northern Nevada.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us here on Mornings on Fox 11, 8 o'clock, second hour of the show. Got a lot to get to, including today is National Puppy Day.
Yes.
We've got someone coming in with their dog as well to talk a little bit about some training tricks, if you will, some things you need to know ahead of time.
Yeah, you may have seen him in a couple Chase commercials.
Yeah.
He's a dog trainer here locally named Joel Silverman. He's going to be coming in, and he is fantastic. He has just great, easy tips that can get your dog to listen and sit and
and do backflips and 360s. It's incredible what he has his dogs do. Okay, maybe you're not ready for that, but sitting and shaking, maybe he can help you. A couple tips there.
Yeah, we've also got to look at our forecast for today. Beautiful day ahead of us. We've got a little bit of a mix-up, though, coming our way. Meteorologist Tim Studebaker joins us now with a look at that. Hi, Tim.
Yeah, for the next few days, things are going to be pretty dry and quiet. By the time we get to the beginning of next week, we're watching some shower chances once again. Not looking like anything too major at this point, but we'll keep an eye on it. For now, yesterday, 49 degrees in town was 10 degrees below the average for this time of year. Today will be closer to those averages. Also, the big difference between today and the past couple of days, less wind. We were pretty gusty 2 days ago, still pretty breezy yesterday. Now the winds are going to be light for most of us for the day today, unless you go to the highest elevations of the Sierra or northeastern Nevada, where there's still a little bit of a breeze out that way too. 57 in town later today will be closer to the averages for this time of year, light winds and mostly sunny skies too. We had snow shower activity as recently as yesterday across parts of the area. That is now gone. It's a drier trend today and for the next couple of days. Couple clouds mixing in with the sunshine. Otherwise, no real big deal there. 31 in Reno Sparks for the temperature, I should say right now. 28 in Carson City, 18 in Truckee, and 28 in Silver Springs. Temperatures are chilly now. Definitely jacket weather this morning. Later on this afternoon, you could probably shed the jacket if you're okay with the upper 50s. By the time we get to the next couple of days, well, definitely looking warmer into the 60s. We'll talk more about that on the 7-day forecast coming up. Back over to you.
Well, a series of coordinated terror attacks in Belgium yesterday killed at least 30 people and injured hundreds more after one explosion hit the Brussels airport and another ripped through a subway station in the Belgian capital. Simon Morrison is in Brussels with the latest.
Two brothers have been identified as the suspected suicide bombers in Tuesday's attacks at the Brussels International Airport, according to a senior Belgian security source. Khalid and Brahim El Bakrawi are seen wearing black in this airport surveillance photo, accompanied by a third man dressed in lighter clothing. A manhunt's now underway for that third man, who police believe planted a bomb at the airport. A witness describes the scene as a war zone.
First, you just see smoke, then you see the ceiling coming down, and then you're just running, jumping over people.
The subway station explosion happened about an hour later.
The lights went out, the power went out, everyone dropped to the ground, they were screaming, but I didn't know at that moment in time if the attack was happening on the train I was on, or if it was happening at the station as we were pulling up to it.
Security has been ramped up at transportation hubs across the United States in response to the attacks. New York City subways have a noticeable police presence, and airports from Boston to Los Angeles have law enforcement on patrol. Around the world, people are holding vigils, and landmarks are illuminated in the colours of Belgium's flag in tribute to the victims of the attacks.
Now, ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attacks. This comes after one of the men involved in the attacks in Paris back in November was arrested over the weekend.
Now, the attacks in Belgium are on the radar at Reno Tahoe International Airport. Fox 11's Terry Hendry has the latest on the heightened security we're already seeing.
We're not what we call a heightened state of vigilance right now. People will see a much larger police presence.
That heightened police presence is noticeable as soon as you arrive. If you're dropping off or picking up from the curb out front, you'll be given just a minute or two before you'll be asked to move it along.
And we're pretty adamant about that. You know, when we have a roadway this close to our terminal, we watch it very, very closely.
In the area before you reach the TSA security checkpoint, surveillance at this stage takes many forms.
For instance, we're not just on the camera that I'm on right now. We're on many cameras right now here in the airport environment.
In addition to human eyes watching, there is this nose that is also on high alert. These air travelers are heading to baggage claim, where they're being greeted by Zeno, a specially trained Belgian Malinois. Zeno is one of 3 explosive detection dogs that's hard at work following the Brussels terrorist attack. His skills are focused on just one task: looking for or finding an explosive device.
And unlike a drug dog, which may attack a package that has drugs in it, put its jaws around it, our dogs take a passive response because you don't want to do that with explosives. So
These dogs are considered athletes with very specialized skills. At this airport, skiers can find that out quickly.
So if you ski through an area where they've used explosives for avalanche control, certainly the dogs may respond to that if it's on your skis or your boots.
But in the aftermath of an attack that ISIS has now claimed responsibility for, Zeno's skill set does not go unnoticed.
The public, you can see the reaction when they see the dogs in the airport. They're reassured. It's nice to see that, especially in a time like this.
Terry Hendry, Fox 11 News.
We reached out to local TSA, and they're reminding you that if you see something, say something. It's as simple as that.
Well, in other local news, dozens of residents were evacuated from an apartment complex when a fire broke out yesterday. Officials say that the fire started on the third floor of the Sundance West apartment complex at the corner of Plymouth Street and Moana Lane at around 4:30. Now, between 30 and 40 residents had to leave as a result of this, and the Red Cross is providing aid to those in need. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
Making news around the Silver State, a top aide to Governor Brian Sandoval says Nevada's reputation concerning renewable energy has been damaged and needs to be restored immediately. The comments came as a newly reconvened energy task force met yesterday to discuss hot-button energy issues. Now, Sandoval's chief strategy officer, Dale Urquiaga, reminded the task force that they can offer advice on how to grandfather existing customers into more favorable rates. Now, the group will also come up with recommendations on improving the electric grid and encountering clean energy developments. They have until June 1st to propose potential legislative changes.
Ammon Bundy and 5 others are going to be transported by U.S. Marshal to Nevada for a court hearing related to a 2014 standoff against government agents. That decision was made by a federal judge in Portland yesterday. The men have been jailed in Oregon since January for their roles in a 41-day standoff with government authorities at a wildlife refuge. Defense attorneys say that their clients shouldn't be transferred until the Oregon case is over because it could slow down the court cases process there. The defendants are going to be flown to Nevada on April 13th and will return to Oregon 10 days later.
The Wolfpack men's basketball team riding a huge wave of momentum right now, having won back-to-back games in the CBI, the College Basketball Invitational. After a win over Montana last week, the Pack also eliminated Eastern Washington on Monday night, both games at Lawler Event Center in Reno. That has Nevada in the CBI Finals. Tyron Criswell had a career-high 32 points Monday as Nevada looks to make program history and win a postseason tournament. It will be the Pack and Vermont out of the American East Conference. The Catamounts won at Seattle in advance, giving them 23 wins on the season, a little bit more than Nevada. Tip-off is set for 7 o'clock. Tickets available at the stadium box office, as well as online at NevadaWolfpack.com.
Still ahead today is Teacher Appreciation Day in Washoe County. We're going to tell you where teachers can go to get a free meal. That's nice. Plus, Uber really wants to make sure that you cannot be hacked through your Uber app. They're giving you a little money to figure out exactly how to make yourself a little bit more safe. What? Details coming up next. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, the race for the White House pushed forward Tuesday with contests in both parties playing out in western states.
Yeah, and it was not a clean sweep for the frontrunners in either party. Reed Binion reports.
Western Tuesday was a big night for the presidential frontrunners, with Hillary Clinton thanking constituents and supporters for her win in delegate-rich Arizona.
I'm also very grateful to all of our volunteers who are working so hard in this campaign across this great state.
Donald Trump tweeting his thanks to voters in Arizona, where it appears his much-repeated promise to deport undocumented migrants may have paid off in a state where illegal immigration is a hot-button issue. Cruz came in a distant second place, and Kasich even further behind in third. Bernie Sanders put a positive spin on his Arizona loss.
Last poll that I saw, we are 5 points behind, and we're gaining.
Sanders later winning in Utah and in Idaho to the delight of his supporters there.
In Utah, tonight in Idaho, and tonight in Arizona, there are record-breaking turnouts in terms of voters.
Ted Cruz was also victorious in Utah, where voter turnout was so high that some locations reportedly saw ballot shortages. Cruz's win in the heavily Mormon state came after former presidential nominee Mitt Romney said he'd be voting for the Texas senator. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
And a new development to tell you about this morning, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush has endorsed Ted Cruz.
Yeah, so not Trump, as we've seen other presidential candidates who have dropped out of this 2016 campaign. This time it is Bush for Jeb Bush, or Cruz for Jeb Bush, excuse me. All right, let's toss things over to Tim.
Well, good morning to you. We've got a dry trend out ahead of us for the next couple of days here. We had some snow shower activity yesterday and the day before, scattered about the area, of course. We also had those gusty winds, a little bit weaker yesterday, now lighter winds really in the forecast for us today. We'll be warming up to temperatures closer to average today and above average by tomorrow. 31 in town with partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies right now. Winds are calm and 69% humidity. Temperatures are in the 20s and 30s for most of us, 19 at South Lake right now. So again, a chilly start this morning, closer to the average highs later today and above average by tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies across the area now. The snow showers from yesterday are pretty much gone. They were hanging on in eastern Nevada into the night last night. They are gone at this point, dried out. We are looking at mostly sunny conditions for the day today and lighter winds than the last couple of days. Upper 40s to lower 50s for northeastern Nevada. A bit of a breeze out that way. Northwest winds at 10 to 15. The rest of us, our winds are light today in the valleys. The only other exception will be the higher elevations of the Sierra. Not at Tahoe level. Still looking at light winds there. But upper elevations of the Sierra are looking at gustier winds for today. Highs are in the 40s around Tahoe. They're in the 50s for those of us in the lower elevations of western Nevada. Northern zones, 56 in Susanville, 55 in Spanish Springs, and then down toward the Truckee Meadows, 57 in Reno Sparks. Very high, a little cooler in the higher elevation towns around us like Galena and Verdi. Washoe Valley at 56 today. 7-day forecast, a quiet trend for the next couple of days here, returning to mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will climb further as we head toward the end of this work week. 60s for the lower elevations for your Thursday and Friday. And then heading into Saturday, things will cool off just a little bit. And then we have our next shower chances coming around Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week at about 30 to 40%. So we'll keep an eye on a little bit of a storm system coming in for the beginning of next week. Till then, dry and relatively warm temperatures. Over to you.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some of your consumer news. Apple just introduced its latest iPhone for the world, and the word of the day, smaller. Mary Maloney explains in today's Consumer Watch.
Apple is coming out with a new, smaller iPhone. Known as the iPhone SE, the phone's screen is only 4 inches. That's to make it easier to put in your pocket. It looks like the iPhone 5S that Apple released 2 years ago, but this phone will be twice as fast and will have fun features like the hands-free voice assistant, Hey Siri.
It also supports Hey Siri. I said it that way because I know it always sets off people's phones when I do it.
It also has a 12-megapixel camera and will be able to shoot 4K video. But the iPhone isn't the only thing Apple is shrinking. A new iPad Pro will be smaller, 9.7 inches, and it will have the same powerful features as the 12-inch model. The screen will be less reflective, but brighter, and it will have more color saturation. It will also work with the Apple Pencil and a new line of Snap-on keyboards. Want to use your iPad to take pictures? This camera will be 12 megapixels with an LED back-facing flash. Apple also announced software updates for the iPhone and iPad. One key new feature, Night Shift, which lowers the screen's brightness in the evening, helping you sleep better. Another ad, a fingerprint lock for documents you store in the Notes app. You can download the software update now to get those new features, but we'll have to wait for the smaller iPhone. It won't be in stores until March 31st. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
And if you simply can't wait for the new iPhone, Apple is going to start taking pre-orders tomorrow. Well, ride-sharing company Uber is launching a program to pay hackers big bucks for finding bugs in their app's code. The Bug Bounty program offers hackers $10,000 for each critical problem that they find. Uber will also dole out $5,000 to hackers who flag significant issues, and then $3,000 for medium-sized issues. A lot of tech companies have similar programs, but the payouts in Uber's is way bigger than a lot of other companies. Uber also says that it is creating a loyalty reward program for hackers to find Uber deals with, quote, subtle bugs. Starbucks wants to donate all of its leftover food from its 7,000 plus U.S. locations. The company said Tuesday that it's going to aim to contribute 100% of its leftover food to Feeding America, which runs a national network of food banks. CEO Howard Schultz says that the idea really came from baristas behind the counter. Starbucks plans to give out 5 million meals this year, including breakfast, sandwiches, paninis, and salads. The company has invested in research to determine the best way to ensure that food stays safe until it is consumed. Well, the U.S. Department of Agriculture estimates that 30 to 40% of America's food supply is wasted. At the time, in 2014, more than 48 million Americans at some point during that year were unable to ensure that they were going to have a meal coming up, their next meal. Well, Starbucks has unveiled also a new drink aimed at celebrating spring. The coffee chain introduced caramelized honey latte to its stores on Tuesday. Starbucks says that it's made with a slow-cooked caramelized honey sauce and gives a unique flavor. The latte comes hot, iced, or even a blended frappuccino as well. Starbucks says the drink is available for a limited time. Coming up, one of the country's most iconic tourist attractions is becoming a symbol of defiance against terror. Jeannie Mose is going to explain. Plus, the attacks in Brussels yesterday impacted the entire world, including the film industry. We're going to tell you coming up in today's Hollywood Minute.
Trying to do too many things at the same time just doesn't work very well. That's why Trivago focuses
Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Time is now 8:23 on your Wednesday morning, currently sitting at 31 degrees here in Reno. Well, the London premiere of Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice went ahead as scheduled following the terrorist attacks in Belgium.
Yeah, Rick Dan McGilla has the story and more in our Hollywood Minute.
Who's that? You must be new.
The London premiere of Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice took place as scheduled Tuesday, following the terrorist attacks in Brussels, Belgium. Entertainment news site Deadline reported heightened security at the event and that Warner Brothers, the studio releasing the film, did cancel the red carpet interviews with media.
Boys, Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent. I love it.
In further Batman-Superman news, Variety says Dawn of Justice is on track for a strong opening. Industry analysts at Exhibitor Relations predict the movie could bring in $150 million domestically and $300 million globally when it opens this weekend. Casting news, Margot Robbie may soon be lacing up ice skates to play figure skater Tonya Harding in a new biopic. Deadline says the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot and Suicide Squad actress is set to star as the skater in I, Tonya. Robbie is also signed to be a producer on the film. For Hollywood Minute, I'm Rick Damagella.
That'll be a good role for her, actually. I'm excited about that. Also, The Wolf of Wall Street. She's really popped up in a lot of movies lately.
Yeah.
And that would be an interesting movie.
It would be, for sure. All right, let's send things over to Melissa with a look at what's trending. Hi, Melissa.
All right, turning now to our trending on our Facebook page. A Minnesota special education teacher is in some hot water for several posts that he made on social media that some say are racist. Teacher Paul Olson was placed on administrative leave at Como Park High School after posting on social media about the lack of student discipline in the district. Now, in the post, Olson says that students are using iPads and phones to sell drugs and set up fights, and teachers simply need more backup. The group Black Lives Matter St. Paul says that Olson's posts were racist and says that he made students sound like, quote, drug dealers and gangbangers, end quote. But parents and teachers are rallying behind Olson and says that he should not have been punished in the first place. We're asking everybody on Facebook, do you see anything wrong with these posts? If these are his opinions, his thoughts on these issues, and also it's his Facebook page, should it be a problem? Or if it's your Facebook page and you're a teacher, you shouldn't have it on public so that everybody can see it. Maybe that's part of the issue. Or maybe take up the issues with administrators. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Go ahead and post your comments on our Facebook page. Speaking of teachers, the Washoe County School District is teaming up with a local restaurant chain to show their teachers just how much they appreciate them. Stay with us on Mornings on Fox 11. We're going to be talking about that coming up next.
Check, 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 check. Hold on. Check, check, check. C2, C2, check, check, check. Seat 3, check, 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 seat 3.
Well, in the wake of deadly attacks in Belgium, one famous statue has become a symbol of defiance. Jeannie Mose shows us how.
Reno family was actually at the airport in Brussels when the bombs went off. We're going to hear from them coming up.
You are watching Mornings on Fox with Bill Frankmore, Samantha Boatman, Melissa Carlson, and weather with meteorologist Tim Studebaker. This is Mornings on Fox.
Hey, good Wednesday morning, everyone. 8:30 now, middle of your work week. Guys, I have some bad news for you this morning.
What?
My way into work, I saw signs on I-580 heading northbound that construction will be beginning once again on March 28th.
Yep, that's right. But it's all for good causes. Roads need to be rebuilt and whatnot. But if it's anything like what we saw last summer with the reroute around the Spaghetti Bowl,
oh my goodness,
Bill Frankmore is going to have a lot to complain about when he gets back, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was pretty confusing for some. We'll get into the groove of it, but still, that's a good marker if you'd like to, that it's spring is here, summer soon to follow. Meteorologist Tim Studebaker joins us now. Officially spring. Is it going to start feeling a lot like it, Tim?
It is over the next couple of days. By the way, I wanted to add to that note about the Spaghetti Bowl construction. That's when I learned the most about the local surface roadways around here, because I didn't take the freeway at all. But yeah, we have had some winter weather. Now that we're officially in spring, we had our first winter storm of the spring just earlier this week. We had some great snow totals coming out of those ski resorts. Kirkwood, 15 inches of snow, all the way down to about 7 at Boreal. And a lot of folks were falling in that range as well. That's, of course, good news for skiers and our water situation. But now that we are heading into the second half of the work week, it's going to feel a lot more like spring around here. Warmer temperatures are on the way. Yesterday, 10 degrees below average at 49. Today will be closer to those averages, and then we're going to warm up even more heading into the second half of this week, back to the 60s in the lower elevations just by tomorrow. Today, though, 57, mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Highs are in the 40s and 50s, depending on your elevation. And the big difference between the last couple of days and today, much lighter winds. We had gusty winds a couple of days ago, damaging winds, in fact. Yesterday was still pretty breezy with some scattered snow shower activity. Now things have dried out, mostly sunny skies and much lighter winds. Coming up on the 7-day forecast, we've got some 60s to talk about, but some shower chances as well. I'll let you know when those come around on that 7-day. Back over to you.
All right, Tim, thank you. Well, a Reno family actually in the airport in Brussels trying to fly home when the bombs went off in yesterday's terror attack overseas.
Yeah, we spoke with Kathy Redfern and her son James via Skype yesterday, and they say they were only 50 feet away from that blast.
We were walking towards the shopping area and the chocolate area. And I had asked my son, shall we stop here for chocolates or shall we go through to security and go up and get them from upstairs? And he suggested we stop, and fortunately he did. We stopped there and we were looking at the chocolates, and 5 seconds later the blast had gone where we would have had passed if we had not stopped for the chocolates. So Belgium chocolates kind of saved us in a way. So yes.
It's amazing how so close some of those survival stories can be in cases like this.
Gives you goosebumps.
Yeah. Well, James is a student at Galena High School. Kathy and James able to get to Paris safely yesterday and expect to arrive back in Reno at some point tonight. Well, several wireless carriers are offering free calls and texts in and out of Brussels for the next few days. Now, the companies are aiming to make it easier for customers to connect with friends and loved ones who are in Belgium.
Participating wireless carriers include AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and several others. The free service offers do vary, so be sure to contact your carrier for all the details.
And as Belgium deals with the aftermath of the series of deadly terrorist bombings, one of the country's most iconic tourist attractions is becoming a symbol of defiance against terror.
Yeah, Jeannie Mose has a story for us this morning.
He is an unlikely morale booster. The image of a little boy relieving himself has become a source of relief for Belgians. Splashing on a terrorist, dousing the fuse on a bomb, aiming for an assault rifle. One of Brussels' most beloved statues has become a symbol of defiance. He's called
Manneken Pis.
Manneken Pis, Little Man P in Dutch dialect. The original was first installed almost 400 years ago. This is a bronze copy. He's a tourist favorite, constantly being dressed up in different outfits. But stripped to his natural state, he's making a statement against terrorism. I'm going to piss on your bombs. Some have changed P to peace and turned the statue into a peace sign. He's been given a helmet and placed behind a sandbag wall. One cartoonist depicted a stream of tears rather than the usual flow. He used to be all fun. For instance, in The Money Pit, a young Tom Hanks landed in a fountain and ended up getting squirted by a replica. But now he's been turned on the terrorists. The Belgians, famous for their fries, have also turned a Burger King ad into a defiant French fry finger. As Belgians wield their wit, world leaders promise unity.
We stand in solidarity with them.
We need to stand together.
Meanwhile, the kid stands alone, only 24 inches tall, but with a message that doesn't miss. Jeannie Moe, CNN, New York.
Leave it to Jeannie Moe to be able to put a story like that together a day later. And it's interesting to see the root of that statue, because that's dwindled into America as well. You see that in gardens throughout the states and whatnot, too.
Yeah. All right, let's send things over to Melissa now. And something we didn't know around here today. Today is actually Teacher Appreciation Day. Good morning, Dee Melissa.
Don't mind me, I'm just licking my fingers over here. Sorry about that. Well, when it's tasty treats, it kind of happens, right, guys? You'll forgive me. All right. Well, the Washoe County School District, it's showing their appreciation for their local teachers here in all of our area. Here to tell us a little bit more about it is Ken Johnson. We've also got Angie Taylor and Sanjay Lalonli. You guys, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. An important day for so many people in our community. Teachers really are the foundation for our kids growing up outside of the home, right? So talk to me, Ken, a little bit about your thoughts. Why is it so important to show our love and support for teachers?
Melissa, I think you just said it correctly. They're a great foundation for kids, what they teach them, also what they show in being who they are, the dedication that they have, and we wanted to make sure that we also participated during this week and specifically on this day, on May 3rd, on Tuesday.
Love that. And Angie, sometimes for some parents, maybe if you're a working parent or whatnot, your kids spend more time with the teacher than they do with you at home. Like it or not, sometimes that's just the way it goes. There are days in my home where that's exactly the truth. So your thoughts about how are you planning on celebrating teachers today?
Well, really, we're doing it for Teachers Appreciation Week, which is actually the week of May 2nd. And we're really gearing towards a big kickoff on May 3rd, and Burger King is taking the lead. But when I had an opportunity to ask for support,
Hype in this day and age.
I himself
Brick wall.
found the opportunity, and so we'll have a week-long.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and grab an image. Yeah, sure, that looks fine. And I'll go ahead and save that.
Okay, so parents, don't worry, not today, but there's a week ahead of us. Don't feel like I didn't set anything with the kids. I was thinking that myself. All right, Sunday, talk to me a little bit how teachers can partake in what's going on.
During Teacher Appreciation Week on May 3rd, on that Tuesday after school hours, any Washoe County School District teacher can come into any Burger King in the Reno Sparks area, and they will bring with them a postcard along with their ID, and they will get a free meal courtesy burger.
Love that. Just showing a little bit of love for them, right?
Yeah, and we want others to be involved as well. We want Burger King has taken the lead, and we're so grateful for that. We want it to be a week-long celebration. So if there are other industries, other restaurants, other services that want to be a part of showing love and appreciation for our teachers, contact us at the school district. We want them to be involved.
Yeah, and also I think too, right? It's one of those things where, again, teachers are such a focal point for kids in their lives, but also it's not just what happens in the classroom, right? It's what happens after school and just out and about for teachers in our community.
Exactly. I mean, that's part of the wraparound. I mean, teachers are really on call, many of them 24/7.
Yes.
When things happen in the home, when things happen that are traumatizing, they go to kids, sporting events in the communities and so on. They really are a pillar. So it is absolutely appropriate, we believe on the Board of Trustees, to have something for the first time that we can celebrate our teachers with. So we're excited and looking for our support. And when our board says yay, we'll move forward.
Let's do this, board. Let's make this happen. All right, Teacher Appreciation Day right there, Tuesday, May 2nd. And for the week as well, it's going to be from 3 to 11 p.m. Any teacher with their credentials can go to Burger King, get that, just need your badge and also that postcard as well to receive free any size meal. Everybody, thanks for being with us this morning. Let's get it passed. Let's support our teachers.
That is correct.
And inevitably supporting our kids through that. So thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate that. Thank you. All right, coming up next, it is National Puppy Day, and we're going to be joined by Master Dog Trainer Joe Silverman. He's going to be here with a few tips on how to train your puppy properly. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back. Oh, I'm caught on my necklace.
Check, check, Mike, check. Hey, Joel, count to 3 for me. All right, welcome back. In honor of National Puppy Day, we have a full-grown puppy, and we have celebrity dog trainer Joel Silverman with us to show us some tricks, give us some information about man's best friend. Thank you so much for being here. You may recognize him, the Chase commercials. How many? What was the number that you told me at the beginning?
It's aired about 3,500 times.
Incredible.
With all the dogs rolling over.
And you and I have done this several times for some SPCA telethons as well. And the first time I saw that commercial, I stood up on my couch and I said, "Oh, it's Joel!" It was so exciting because what you do is so incredible. So let's just dive right into it. I mean, talking to me is boring. Let's see what you can do here.
Well, basically, you know, this is National Puppy Day, and so we're out just really encouraging responsible pet ownership, talking a lot about making sure, obviously, you get the right puppy. I can't really talk about that earlier today. But as far as training goes, you know, people really need to take the time to develop a great relationship with their puppy.
Yes.
Develop the bond before they train their puppy. And I think so many dogs are returned back to animal shelters because we all know because they weren't trained, but a lot of times it's because they never developed a great relationship with the dog prior to training. So I would say if you get your dog in a place where your dog wants to please you, wants to make you happy, training is 100% easier. And so we talk about there's 4 different behaviors: sit, stay, come, and the word no. And those are the 4 behaviors I recommend. And obviously, if we don't have a lot of time, so we can't really take a puppy because a puppy can't really. So I figured Duchess is the best way to kind of show you.
Okay.
One of the things I also talk about is elevated areas, training your dog to sit and stay on something elevated. A great example is this. So if it's okay, if I can get up.
Yeah, go ahead. Stand up. We'll take our other camera over there.
Okay, beautiful, great. And if what happens,
would you like me to get up?
Actually, no, you're fine.
Okay.
Here, Dutch, all the way up here, Duchess, good girl. But if you get your dog on something elevated, okay, right here, and we get her sitting, what happens is now if the dog's on something elevated, you can see that if the dog were to just jump, the puppy were to jump off, okay, we would just guide the puppy back on, okay, and we just tell the puppy to stay, reward the puppy there on something elevated. Once the dog is cool with that, we can move the puppy onto flat ground.
Okay.
Okay. And then the other thing I always like to explain to people is when you're working with the puppy, you could actually guide the puppy with the treats. You're training. You just take the over the dog's back, get the dog to sit, hold on to the leash just like that, just not a lot of slaps on the leash. And then the other thing is, I always like to say the word "okay" as a release. And so what happens is we say we say okay, release the dog, send the dog right back up there again. And of course, when the dog is
and that kind of gets them to understand what okay means.
Exactly.
Okay, now it's
the
time
release is all done. Yeah. And then the other thing the other thing is, and when the dogs are really well trained, so you can talk about, they can show how bashful they are.
Oh.
Good girl. Very Dutch. But anyways, so dog training really is so much about the relationship, really about the trust. And so many people go to train their dog before the relationship is established, get to know the animal. And the other thing is, and Kimberly touched on this, and I just want to talk about it again, and that is when you adopt a dog and adopt that puppy, I would say bond with your heart, training with your brain. Don't adopt based on the heart, adopt based on the brain. What's right for you? You see a puppy in there that's a mixed breed dog, that looks like it might be a Great Dane-sized dog, and all of a sudden you're not ready. Your family's not going to be prepared for a 100-pound dog. That's not what you want. Ask somebody, and really ask questions and make sure. But we always want to make sure, most importantly, whoever adopts a puppy, it goes.
Want to do a mic task just to be sure?
So important, of course. And Joel's book, More What Color Is Your Dog? This is a great book as well. More tips, a lot more than these 3 minutes we just had right now. Joel, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Duchess, thank you very much. All right, let's send things over to Tim. Hey, Tim.
All right, well, good morning to you. We had some snow shower activity over the last couple of days scattered about the area. We also had some gusty winds. Now Both of those are going away. A dry trend and much lighter winds in the forecast for us today and for the next couple of days too. The exception to that, the higher elevations of the Sierra could still see some wind gusts today, as well as some breezes in northeastern Nevada. Everyone else is really looking at light winds today down in most of the valley locations. We are warming up too. A warming trend is on the way. We were 10 degrees below average yesterday in Reno Sparks. Today we'll be closer to the average. Tomorrow will be above the average into the 60s by tomorrow. 31 in town right now, mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies and calm winds at the moment, so not too much going on at the moment here in the area. Teens, 20s and 30s depending on where you are this morning. A chilly start, near average later on this afternoon. So we do have a few clouds out there mixing in with the sunshine, especially up into the western Sierra and northeastern Nevada. Everyone else is looking at a really good amount of sunshine, but maybe just a couple of clouds mixing in. It's a dry pattern on satellite and radar. Things are pretty quiet for most of us. 10 to 15 mile per hour winds still out there for the northeastern part of the state. Highs in the 40s and 50s out that way. Those of us here in the valleys of western Nevada, generally light winds across the area. Not much in the way of winds now going forward. We had some pretty gusty winds the last couple of days. Those are now pretty much gone. Up into the 40s for the highs around Tahoe today, which is close to average for this time of year. Again, light winds at Tahoe level. The high
So right now you're not
Sierra
on your mic.
On the gusty side.
Kate.
Highs are in the 50s.
I guess you know, right?
Nevada, and again, mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. We're at 53 instead, 53 in Portola as well, and then in the Truckee Meadows, look for about 57 in Reno Sparks. Again, that is not far from average for this time of year. We will be even warmer than that, though, going into Thursday and Friday. Check out the temperatures in Carson City, 65, 63 for Thursday and Friday. A little bit cooler as we head toward your Saturday, not by much, but we may need to adjust that.
You want to do a mic check? There's nothing.
Into next week.
There's
though,
nothing
Sunday,
from you,
Monday,
Kate.
Tuesday. That's
That
our
mic.
chance for any sort of shower activity. It looks like another little storm system coming on in. We'll keep our eye on that one for now. Back over to you.
All right, thank you so much. Well, a Minnesota special education teacher is in hot water for several posts that he made on social media that some say are racist. Teacher Paul Osland was placed on administrative leave from Como Park High School after posting on social media about the lack of student discipline, in his opinion, in the district. Now, in the post, Olson says that students are using iPads and phones to sell drugs and set up fights, and teachers simply need more backup. Well, the group Black Lives Matter St. Paul says that Olson's posts were racist. They say that it made students rather sound like they were, quote, drug dealers and gangbangers, end quote. But parents and teachers, some at least, are rallying behind Olson. They're saying that he should not have been punished. Ask your Google Plusers what you think about it. Do you see anything wrong with him posting his opinions on Facebook? But what if maybe one of your kids is in one of his classes? Could be your kid he's talking about. Do you have a problem with that? Starting off first with Kate. Kate, your thoughts on this one. Should he be in trouble for what he posted on social media?
Kate, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
Yeah,
were you
you're
calling
better.
me? Well, actually, I don't think he posted anything that denoted any specific group whatsoever. You know, he was speaking purely about what he felt about the students in his school and how difficult it was to teach, and there should be no repercussions. He didn't name names. He said some things. He was pretty strong in his language, but there was no groups called out in particular overtly. So I think it's just more hype, more potential litigiousness. So, yeah, he shouldn't be in trouble at all.
Glenn, you agree?
Yeah, I agree. As soon as, and this is a common tactic with groups like Black Lives Matter, as soon as somebody says something they disagree with, they scream racism. And the moment they scream racism, the teacher has to be suspended, which makes him look bad. It's a form of censorship, really.
Kempton, what do you think about it? Do you feel like it's potentially a sense of a source of censorship here? Or, you know, he's a teacher. He's dealing with people's kids. Maybe he should decide not to put something that could be potentially an issue for a lot of parents out on social media. What do you think?
Judging from the two brief posts that I've read, he didn't say anything racist. It's just talking about, hey, I mean, it could be happening. And apparently there are another case of a teacher somewhere else trying to stop some drug-related thing and got beaten up. So I think it's rightly that he raised this up. So instead of punishing him, I think the whole situation should be looked at and trying to resolve it. If it's really happening, drug dealing or fight arranged by iPad, if that is really happening, the school should help fix this problem.
We would love to hear what you have to say about this one. Teachers out there, what do you think? Go ahead and post your comments on our Facebook page. Sam?
All right, well, to keep with our canine theme today, we thought we would end the show with a dog that has a unique skill set. We're going to introduce you to Dog Vinci when Mornings on Fox 11 return.
Things works out all right, but Kate, when you were doing my test, Melissa was speaking already, so I don't know. Hopefully, they haven't caught us. Like if they actually automatically go to us, you would be popping up like all the time.
Oh my gosh, it's been a nutsy morning, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I bet. Like when your mic is not working and we're trying to help you debug the thing, but then by that time Melissa was speaking already, so like
we got a new mic, so we're replacing the mic today, and he forgot we had one more segment. He took it off after our morning show. So, so yeah, but be careful today, everybody. Have a great full moon day.
Yeah.
It worked out at the end, I think. So that's
I know the kind of mics that he has there. He got you guys a real good quality mic there.
Yeah.
You know, he gets those things equalized properly. You guys are going to sound dynamite.
I can't wait. Yep. And well, we're trying to replace the mixer next too, because we've had it for a bit. So.
Yeah.
Oh, can I do a test? Like right now I'm on my AirPod. Let me pull out my AirPod and see. Like, do I sound all right, or do I sound like very echoey?
You sound perfectly
fine.
Yeah.
Fine? Okay. So I'm hearing you guys talk from the speaker on the computer.
Okay.
You hear any echo, anything like that?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm like with the AirPod, then there's not much of like I think the sound is a little bit better with the AirPod, but without it, then I don't have to have stuff hanging off my ear. So okay.
Right.
At least there's no echo from my voice, and you guys don't hear echo of you. Then that's fine.
Right. Yeah, fine.
Cool.
All right. See you.
All right, guys. See you tomorrow.
Okay. Bye.
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 Welcome back, everyone. Well, a dog in New York is getting quite a bit of reputation as an artist. Meet Dagger, who's also known as Dog Vinci. He's a 3-year-old black lab who originally planned to be a helper dog for those with disabilities, but his fear of stairs disqualified him. Then his human, who's also an artist, discovered, hey, he has a love of painting.
Dagger paints by following his human's commands and uses a brush made of duct tape and a paper towel tube to hold it in his mouth. I hope they don't put the duct tape on his mouth. I'm sure he don't. How popular are his paintings? Well, that generally sell. They do for about $50 to $100.
Oh my
per
gosh.
canvas,
Look.
with all proceeds going to animal-related charity. How cute is he? Oh my!
I want one of those.
Did you get all cleaned up from your doggy makeout session?
Almost. Yeah, so Joel Silverman's dog essentially climbed on my lap, to say the least, and I'm absolutely covered in dog hair now. So more light
Doggy
rollers
love.
in my future.
Have a great day, everybody. Hope to see you back here tomorrow at 7 a.m.